I am getting ready to do a tray, which will become a bowl, and 2 coasters with the resin. I've had my timer going since I finished mixing. I'm at 15 minutes, so I'm keeping an eye on my time. I just want to make sure that you're pretty level. I've got roughly an ounce to an ounce and a half of each color. Got some Resin, Resin. It's kind of a, and list it below the video. And I've got piping bags, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in. I like to put them in like a 5-ounce cup, just so I have plenty of space. I'll transfer the colors in just a little bit, but you want to kind of wait till you're about ready to pipe it so that you can feel it warming, and because once you put it into the piping bags you can't really stir it. So right now I've got, these both hold 2 ounces of resin. Right now I have about 14 ounces of resin in my container here left. So I'm going to put a little less than 2 ounces to give myself room to pipe in the colors. This mold holds 24 ounces, but I don't want that much. I'm only doing about half of that, so that when it sets up in about 4 hours or so, which is what medium viscosity does, you can touch it within about 4 to 5 hours. I'll be able to have it flexible and then mold it into a bowl. So I use my heat tool, which is only 300 degrees. It's been 23 minutes and it's starting to warm. So I'll give it a good stir. Transfer each one into a cup, which hopefully you can. I'll try to put it in a place where you can see. Okay, so I got this a little bit on the thin side. I really needed a couple more ounces in here for it to really work, and it was starting to heat up, so it's not moving a lot, but we will see what it looks like when it's finished. Again, I didn't go over the colors. I'm going to do that now. I did Counterculture, Cameo Cream, Thunderbolt, Majestic Mauve. Those are dispersion colors. This is Intense Color, Cranberry Cocktail. I used some alcohol inks. I used a magenta, medium magenta, a deep violet, gold, white. I used Lett's Resin, white, pigment paste, and a little bit of Lett's Resin coffee. in the cream color with some Sparkle Miners Gold, and I use Sparkle White in all of the colors just to give it a little bit of sparkle. And again, these hold 2 ounces. These are the Geode number 3 molds from Counterculture. This is in the link for the Amazon recommendations at the in the video description below, and you can get it there. It's a Lett's resin mold. So I'm just going to throw in a little bit of this glitter that I have left. Might as well use it, you know. Glitter is so yummy. Then I'm going to cover it. I'm going to come back in about 4 hours to unmold this part and then stick it into a bowl to mold it, like I always typically do. I like to make bowls instead of a tray. Obviously, this would be a great Valentine's Day piece, anniversary, just a pink lover, pink and red. When your resin is a very thin layer, it will start to kind of set up a lot quicker than if you've got a really thick layer. So just keep that in mind when you're doing something like this where you're not filling up a mold all the way, and I don't want it to be a 1/4 to a 1/3 of an inch thick, because it's much harder to make a bowl with it because of the thickness. So just keep in mind your time and your thickness as far as working with resin. Timing is key on the effect that you want, and the thickness is key on if you want to mold it. So I like to turn my cups upside down, and then you can peel it right out of the cup once it sets up. I just wipe my popsicle sticks off, and you reuse them over and over again. I like to also spritz it with some alcohol, just for any more bubbles. Okay, and I'm going to cover it. I'll be back in about 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so here's the bottom side, and here's the top side. The creamy color. It's almost not seen on this side. It almost has a really pale pink look, and you can kind of see your hands, but not really, so it kind of acts as a barrier for whatever you're setting it on. But yeah, it's pretty. It didn't quite turn out as I'd planned, and that's still with it being about 1/8 of an inch or so thick. That's still pretty thick, so you have to think of that when you're trying to get the effects that you want in your resin, letting it heat up, that kind of thing. Just keep that in mind, the thickness. And this was only putting about 12 ounces in that mold, which will hold over 24 ounces. I've got a few little scattered pieces of the glitter, you know, that kind of escaped. So I hope you learned something. And two pretty kind of flower, almost Valentine looking coasters that match. So hope you learned something. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Share my channel with other people, and so that I can affect more people's lives with creating, because I don't do just resin. I do painting and acrylic pouring and drawing and all kinds of other stuff, so I enjoy doing it for people and sharing my knowledge. So I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to check out the links below the video as well. I also have journals in my Amazon recommendations. The links are below, just for journaling, and there's a prayer journal, kids handwriting journals. Check them out now that school's starting back. The handwriting is for anybody that's, you know, from 3 to 5 years old or so. There's cursive writing. Since they're not teaching cursive writing as much anymore in schools, there's a cursive handwriting book for kids, and especially for homeschoolers, that might be something they can practice in, and they're fairly inexpensive. So check those out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.